everybody, and welcome to Watch Me Go Broke. Now, welcome to today's review of the Lorier Falcon 2, or Generation 2, the PVD Gold version. Now, this is going to be part 1 of the review, which I will explain in just a second. But on my wrist today is going to be the Steel Dive 1970. I got it on a Seiko rubber strap. I really like it, and I'm wearing a blue shirt today, so yeah, matches pretty good. And here is today's watch. Now, this is part 1 of the review, or I'm recording this review in 2 parts. Why, you might ask? Well, because there was a pretty serious quality control issue with this watch, and it's being sent back to Lorier for repair. It's something I didn't notice in the unboxing video, and you guys didn't notice either. And I was actually wearing it on wrist for a couple of days, and it wasn't really until I started looking at the watch that I noticed this QC, that's kind of hard to say, QC issue. Now, the issue is, and I can kind of show you from the side here, if you notice the crystal at the 12 o'clock position, it's raised up. It's not sitting down flush like the other side. And if you can look, and let me try to zoom in here, you see how it's more gold around the 12 to 2 o'clock markers there. It's not pressed down like I'll show you the other side. You see how it's all the way down there? Not pressed down. So, you know, these kind of things can happen with really any watch. It doesn't matter if it's a micro brand or a big box brand. You know, it can happen with, you know, Omega, rarely. Rolex, probably rarely. But Seiko, you know, they have tons of QC issues, stuff like that. So it really doesn't matter that it's a micro brand that's having this issue here. Really, the telltale judgment is the customer service on whether or not this watch will be repaired at no cost to me. So as soon as I noticed this issue, I immediately contacted Lorier. They immediately contacted me back and said, send us the watch, we'll fix it. Here's a prepaid label, go to FedEx, ship it off, we'll get it back to you ASAP. So that is what is happening today. This watch is going out FedEx to Lorier, and you know, it doesn't bother me. You know, the customer service, they were very responsive, and this issue, honestly, it's hard to see unless you really know what you're looking for. I think the average person might not even know about this. And I was just concerned, you know, because of the water resistance, you know, rating. I didn't want that to be compromised. And once you see it, you can't really unsee it. So that kind of became a you know, a little bit of annoyance there for me. And yes, it is something I could probably fix myself, but I'd have to decase the movement. That would compromise the water resistance from the factory. I didn't want to do that. This watch being only 2 days, you know, it's not even worth it. I'm just going to send it back to them. They can fix it up for me, and I will enjoy it. I believe in them so much, and I hope I'm not going to eat my words at part 2 of this review, but I believe in them so much, I actually ordered the stainless steel Falcon in the blue right after they contacted me to send this watch back, because that's how much I believe in this company. I think it's really great. So, all right, guys, that's part 1. Part 2, I will come back with this hopefully fixed up nicely from Lorier, and I will do the rest of the review. So, with a snappy snap snap of the fingers, here we go. Oh, man. Oh, I got to work on my magic snapping. But here is the watch back from the warranty service from Lorier. I shipped this out on a Monday. They received it on a Wednesday. They had it for about an hour and then shipped it out along with the blue Falcon at the exact same time. And I received both watches on a Friday. So that is awesome. Turnaround time. Now, I would suspect that they just changed out the head of the watch. It is the same bracelet that I sent in. I know this because of something I did with one of the screws. So I know it's the same bracelet, but it doesn't appear to be the same head. So they just switched out the head with one that they had that was good, I guess. And then I'm assuming they would go ahead and ship off the the bad one to their manufacturer. So yes, I'm super excited. So you can see that that crystal has been corrected all the way around. It looks beautiful. No problems there. I was incredibly excited. So excited until I got the Blue Falcon. And the Blue Falcon, unfortunately, also had a QC issue. As you can see here, there was a piece of dust or like a thread or something like a piece of a white glove was underneath the crystal, you know, on the Blue Falcon. And, you know, you can't take it out without removing the movement and all that stuff. So yeah, so that was pretty disappointing, and I was wearing it for a couple of days, and I thought, well, you know, should I send it back? Should I try to work on it myself? Do I want to be that guy, you know, that keeps sending watches back and stuff? I really didn't, but, you know, obviously it's not my fault. You know, it's a QC issue that they had. So I decided, you know, after a couple of days, I was like, look, you've been building watches for like 8 years. You know, you pretty much know what you're doing. You've worked with many different movements. Just go ahead and try it. And I knew that, you know, if I was going to remove that piece of dust, I would have to crack the case back, take the movement out, clean the crystal, and then reinstall it. And I knew that that would void the warranty on the watch. So basically, I just decided to go ahead and do it. So I took the back off, and incidentally, this is what that looks like when you take the back off your Lorier Falcon. You see that movement, the 90S5, great looking movement. I was actually impressed with the quality of the internal parts of this watch. You know, there's a few things that I liked. There was 3 tabs that were holding the movement in. Usually there's just like 2 tabs, so that was really cool that there was 3 there. There's also a metal retaining ring to hold the movement in, or the movement holder. That was very high quality, very well done. Everything fit into the case really nicely, so I was impressed. So I was able to pop out the movement, didn't have any trouble. Took it out, blew out the crystal, which you definitely do not want to rub a microfiber cloth on the inside of the crystal. You just want to blow it out if there's any dust. Hopefully you can get it all out with having to do that, because then you'll just see those marks and things from the cloth underneath. So I was successful, put the movement back in, everything was good, tightened it back down, and the watch is awesome. Let me show you. So here is the blue stainless steel Falcon without the piece of dust there. So, man, you know, that piece of dust or thread, I couldn't unsee it. Like every time I, you know, looked at the watch, my eyes directly went to that. So yeah, it wasn't great. But I was able to put the case back on. The case back was on there very, very well. So, you know, good on them. You know, everything, the build quality, it was nice to see that they had, you know, a good amount of quality in there. So, yep, fixed it, voided the warranty, but I think it was worth it. I really like this watch. So now this video is going way too long, so let me get to the review. So the stats are going to be the same for both these watches. This is the PVD Gold, so it's a PVD coated stainless steel. You've got a 36 millimeter case, a thickness of 11 with that domed Hesselite is what they're calling it now. It's acrylic or plexiglass. It's all the same thing. Crystal there. You've got a lug-to-lug of 44, so very short. It's going to wear well on a small wrist for certain. The lug width is 20 millimeters. It does taper down to 16 at the clasp. Actually, quite a dramatic early taper to 16 down to the clasp. The clasp is a double pusher deployment clasp. It's the same clasp on all Lorier watches. I think it is a good clasp, and I think it works really well on this Falcon because it's not very substantial. And you've got the Lorier chevron there engraved into the back of the clasp there. So the movement, as mentioned, is the Miyota 90S5. It is a no-date version of the Miyota 9015. It's what Lorier is using in all of their watches, save for the Hyperion, now. So this is the no-date version, so there is only one position past the winding. So the first position there, and the crown is actually... it's slightly oversized. It's not as big of a crown as what is on the Neptune, but it does thread very nicely. So winding the watch, no problem there. And then one pull out, you can set the time. And it is a movement that does not have a ghost date, so only the two positions there. And screwing the crown back down, it doesn't really screw down as far as, say, the Neptune. It's about 3.5 turns, but gets the job done for the 100 meters of water resistance there. Nice little embossed chevron logo on there as well. You've got drilled lugs for easy strap changes. I think this would look great on a leather strap, looking really great. So zooming in on the dial, it's a beautiful stark white dial. It is in a gold gilt style. You've got the traditional Lorier hands that they use on all of their watches. Really great, like an arrow style hour hand, and kind of like a sharp point minute hand, and of course the arrow style second hand there. You've got the Lorier logo printed just below the 12 o'clock position, and the printing on this is quite crisp. It is very, very nicely done. Lorier automatic. And then above the 6 o'clock marker, you have Falcon, very small there, very small, but I think it works well for this watch. The dial is also textured in kind of a diamond style pattern there. If you can see, it adds a nice little vintage style to this watch. So the hour markers are all printed and filled with BGW9 lume. They are outlined in that gold gilt, which I think is a nice touch. It plays with the light very, very nicely. And speaking of the lume, let's check it out. So the lume is really outstanding. It's a little bit above what they have on their Neptune. You can see that it's applied a little bit thicker than on their other watches. So this lume is actually really great, and it does last a long time. So the case is all brushed, save for a polished chamfered edge, and then you have a polished ring all the way around the bezel there. And on the top of the bezel, it's actually been flattened off, and there's a polished area on the top, and that gives a nice play with the light, especially out in the sunlight. Looks really great. So the bracelet is the same bracelet on all of Lorier's watches. It is, for my money, one of the best bracelets that there is. There is a ton of removable links that's going to fit, a baby's wrist if you would like it to, or a small woman's wrist, up to an 8-inch wrist. Now, I took out 2 links to fit my behemoth 7.5-inch fat guy wrist. And I've got it on the second hole micro adjust. I think it fits really, really well. So let's take a look at a couple of those links so that I can show you how that PVD coating works. So there you go. You can kind of see the thickness of the coating of the PVD gold that they use. It's actually pretty thick. I haven't had any kind of scratching or anything yet. Supposedly this is going to hold up pretty well, so I'll have to do a long-term review to see how that holds up over time. But I think the coating is definitely there. It's not a light coating, and it looks really, really good. So on to the stainless steel Falcon. Looking at the case back, it really is a good looking case back. Pretty simple. You've got the chevron logo going all the way around the case back. Screw down case back for 100 meters of water resistance. All the specs are the same on this particular watch versus the PVD gold. But man, ever since I fixed the dust issue with this watch, I love it. This watch is fantastic. Love the PVD gold. Love that one. But this one is the bee's knees. Like, I'm telling you guys, this is awesome. The color of the blue dial is, it's great. It's a blue navy color. It does look black in certain lights, but man, it's just so classy. And the way they've done the silver outlines on everything and the silver logo printing, it just looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot stop wearing this watch. I mean, this this is quickly going up the rankings in, as one of my favorite watches for certain. And here is that stainless steel version out in the natural world on my 7.5-inch wrist. Some people would argue that it's too small. I think it's absolutely perfect at 36 millimeters. I've been wanting 36 millimeter watches for quite some time. I think it looks fantastic. And here is the PVD gold one. Yeah, real classy. The gold, really plays with the light very nicely. And man, it is just all in all, just outstanding. I think it's great. So yeah, guys, trying to keep this review as short as possible, even though it's very, very long, but I think this watch is fantastic. I don't know, where you're going to find a better 36 millimeter watch at this price. I think it's fantastic. The Hesalite crystal looks wonderful. You are going to see scratches on it over time, but Polywatch takes care of that. No big deal. 100 meters of water resistance. You're going to be able to do whatever you want with this watch. Take it anywhere you can, to the pool, to the beach, anything like that. It's going to hold up very, very nicely, I think. I was impressed with the insides of it. Just all in all, I think the couple of QC issues I had really reinforced the fact that this is a good brand. It is a good micro brand. They stand behind their product. They take care of it if you have an issue. And probably would have taken care of that dust and thread issue for me, but I just really felt like nobody else had taken one of these apart, so I figured I'd show you guys what it looked like and gave my opinion on it. So that's all I have for today, guys. I think there's a fantastic watches. Pick one up immediately. Whenever they get the green colored dial back in, I'm definitely going to get one of those, but they're sold out right now. They still have this one, though, if you're interested there. But yeah, both of them, great products. Love them both. I'm going to wear these with pride, knowing that there's some great folks behind this brand that really take care of you. Oh, yeah, and it should be noted, they, to my knowledge, didn't know that I had a watch review channel. I don't buy anything from anyone under the name of the watch review channel. I very rarely contact any brands, to have things in for review. So to my knowledge, they don't know that I did. So I feel like I was treated like a regular customer, and that, you can trust me on that they did a great job there. So that's all I have today, guys. Sorry for the review being too long, but man, gosh, love these watches. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you next time.